age-appropriate materials for parents and early child educators. And I will be demonstrating what we have tried to do. So our mission, of course, has been to use technology, to fill this need that we know is very, very badly served. And setting up a website, at least, is an accessible way for us in terms of the financial outlay to be able to do that. And of course, with the fourth industrial revolution, it will be in for us not to use a website when we can. So yeah, so I will let me go to the website and just demonstrate so that you can see where we are at the moment. Okay, so are we? Okay, can you? Are you here with me? Okay. So, yes. So this is the landing page, and the idea is for us. We're launching today with a limited number of stories, biographies, and all of that. And the idea is for us to upload new materials every week. So we have a segment where we actually we have two chapters of the of African history, which we are situating as world history. African history is world history. And so we actually started from the very beginning, Africa as a fountain of human life. So every chapter of the history we have is illustrated, and we also, children have the option of having it read to them. So that's what we have under history. We've also started adapting popular rhymes, giving them Afrocentric beats, and then where possible also changing references to things that kids in Africa would easily identify with. So an example is this popular rhyme, which goes, I love to eat apples and bananas. We have adapted it so that it does not only have apples and bananas, but it has mangoes and pineapples, things that our children are more familiar with. So we have a few of those. We've launched with 5, but we already have, I think, about 15 more that we're going to be uploading over the next week or so, and we're going to continue to build up on that. With regards to biographies too, we are actually giving these books out free for people who register. This is a biography of a woman who was taken as a child from the Senegambia area when she was about 7 and brought to the US to live in Boston. She ended up being the first person of African descent to actually publish a collection of poetry, and then she was able to get her freedom through at least become influential enough for her owners to let her go. So these are all, as much as possible, we try to animate just so that to keep the children excited and engaged and all of that when they're reading. And then we have stories for all ages. I mean, for ages starting from age 4, I think, up till the early teens. So, like I said, we try to animate them as much as we can afford to. So the website will also serve as a site for people who have written books, because we can actually sell from our website, and then of course it will be on a revenue sharing basis. We also have a number of educational resources, which over the years we found are needed, you know, to help with early childhood training. And so we, first of all, one of the things I noticed when we wanted to start the Lekki Peninsula nursery and primary school, one of the affordable schools, was that we could not find curriculum for people under the age of, I think, 4. And we realized that by the time kids come to us at age 5, children whose parents do not have the time or the background to be able to prepare them well for school, even in things like numeracy and letters and all of that, they are already behind, you know. So and our research shows that yes, there are daycare centers out there, but usually they're not affordable enough for people who are outside of, say, the middle class and so on. Most daycare centers just keep kids there, just play with them until their parents come for them, and they are not preparing them for school. So we came up with this handbook, which we're giving out free, to help people who want to start their own small daycare centers, and it's available for download. We also have curriculum for starting from age 6 months to 36 months, I think. They're also available for free download. They have daily activities, weekly activities that you can do with children to prepare them. And they're not only useful for people who want to run daycare centers. Parents themselves, you know, who want to prepare their children for school, have these resources. Another resource we have there is something I've been doing in form of a blog on our, because we do have a Facebook group for parents and early childhood educators, where we, you know, where we address things like parenting style. After this session, go on there and play around. And of course, we're open to your suggestions and questions, and also collaborations on how we can make this better. It says my screen is, has my screen been paused? Have you been seeing my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
We see your screen, but it stayed on one picture.
It stayed on one picture?
Yes.
Oh,
at least
so did you see this part?
I'm not. Which part?
Okay, so you saw this.
What I can see is the mother with 2.
Okay, so it means you've been seeing my screen. This is the history section.
Okay.
Did it change?
No.
It's still on the same picture of the same woman?
Yeah.
Yes, with the same. It's a child and 2 children in one mom.
Yes, exactly.
Has it changed now?
No.
Oh my God.
Nala, you need to launch the website itself and then project that or share that.
I need to launch it.
Yes, and then unshare this and share the screen and share the website so that as you are making changes, we can all see. Right now, we're only seeing the presentation.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Sorry, this is the. This is why. Share screen. Okay, share screen.
You have to click numbers.
What about now? Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. You can see it. Yes.
So has it changed now that I've changed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It has changed.
Thank you for lunch. That's my son-in-law, and he's an IT person. So thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, so this is so you didn't. Okay, so this is what I was trying to show you in the history section. Okay, we illustrate as much as we can, and we have a number of rhymes already. When I tried to play one of them, I don't know if were you able to see this when I played it?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So then I was showing the blogs, the resources for parents and the early childhood educators. Anyway, I think you people will be better off if you just take a bit of time when we're done to play around with it. Like I said, we're going to be replenishing on a regular basis. I think before I hand over to the hosts, I want to quickly talk about the kind of collaboration we're looking for with writers, illustrators, animators, voice artists, translators, and also to acknowledge the young people who are already working with us. Claire Shinzi, I see you're on. She's one of our illustrators. Owuade Dayo is also one of our illustrators. And Ike9 Bejiofo has been our animator. We're always looking to work with more people. So far, we have been self-financed, and our target is to reach 1 million readers during our first year, and we think it is achievable. At least if the experience of the YouTube channel, the Sankofa Pan-African series tells us anything, is the fact that that is achievable. We're able to achieve that in the first year. It just shows that people are out there, want to hear their own histories, their own stories, told, in ways that they're not exposed to at school and all of that. So, the idea is to collaborate as much as possible with creatives. The website has been designed in a way that it tracks, readers of every particular stories. So it's not just a situation where it's one price for everybody. It's going to be a revenue sharing formula with us and the owners of or people who submit stories to us, or illustrators, animators, and so on. I think there's a button already on the website now where people who are interested in exploring what the nature of this relationship will be further, where they can click and then connect with us, and then we'll take it from there. We're particularly desirous to work with translators who can translate into languages that are like Swahili, Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, maybe Patois from the Caribbean. We think, we need to get as many translations of the stories that we share out there, so that we don't all continue to be dominated by the use of the English language or French, Spanish, and what have you that the colonizers have enforced on us. So please, writers and other creatives, connect with us, and we'll take it from there. And we think it's important for us to keep working with creatives who are of African descent, because we are better positioned. We are then better positioned to find original stories and nurture local talent in order to produce top quality relevant stories and all of that. And our approach stems from a belief that young people of African descent will be better positioned to actualize themselves if they are equipped from a very early age, to resist the kind of stereotypes and misconceptions and negative narratives about them, Africa, and people of African descent in the diaspora generally. I think I've taken more than my allotted time. I apologize. So over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Bunmi. You've actually still got 4 minutes left. So.
Oh, good, not bad. So, yeah, let me seek those 4 minutes for others. I can always come on to take on questions and comments later, Do we want to then have the panelists come up and tell us and maybe question us, comment and raise questions, make suggestions?
According to the program, we've gotten to the point of the interlude at the moment. So
okay.
let's
is the video, is the spoken word ready?
Ready, yes.
Joseph, is it ready?
I'm still not made host. I've emailed it over, but I don't think I can share. I don't have permission to share from my end. But yes, well done, Dr. Bunmi, is someone saying in the chat. Congratulations, we're mighty proud of you. I observed 4 hands and 4 legs of the illustrations. Is it only?
Yes, why?
Yes, yes, the family. Okay, that was one thing I forgot to talk about when I was talking about the kind of stories we're interested in. What we've done with those characters, they are actually like the grandchildren of the Anansi's stories that you read about as a child or were told as a child, given human attributes. Hello?
Because it looks like this movie.
Hello? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
Hello?
Dr. Bunmi, go ahead. There was an extraneous.
Yeah, I was explaining that I do love traditional stories, but we also want to bring those well-loved traditional characters, into modern life, so that what we have done with the 2 Anansi stories that we already have is they are like, maybe think of them as grandchildren of the Anansi that stories you were told as a child, but they are a brother and a sister, I think aged 7 and 5. And we see them doing regular everyday things. Sometimes they're doing magical things. The idea is to keep the children in mind of some of those well-loved characters like Anansi, Ajapa, Nyoribo, and all of that, so that we're not just only recycling traditional stories, but we're actually bringing those well-loved characters, to do relevant things that children today might be able to make more of a connection with, which is the only proviso we're actually giving people who want to submit traditional stories to us. We love our traditional stories. We love our traditional characters, but we would have to, quite a lot of them have the kind of morals or themes that will not sit well today. One of the first things that kids learn, from reading stories is to learn morals and things like that. So we don't want you to submit to us traditional stories that might not sit well with current, positive norms. For instance, you don't want you don't want to perpetuate gender-based discriminations or ethnic rivalries and things like that. So when we are taking on traditional stories, we're going to be mindful you know, that they have the kind of values that we actually want our children to have today. And the stories can be set anywhere in the universe, you know, so long as they have main characters that are African or of African descent, you know, and yeah, so we're open to all kinds of genres.
Thank you, Dr.
The characters you saw that have 4 legs and 4 arms are deliberate because they're the spider family. We have other stories that have regular human beings.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bunmi. Yes, well needed initiative. I think we're still having trouble with spoken word, so I think we should probably just move straight onto our panelists' response, just to give them a little bit more time to share with us what it is they want us to support them with.
And we do have surprise guests. So
yes,
maybe,
we do.
So
yes,
do you
we
want
do.
them to come on after the panelists? I know.
Well, let's give the panelists an opportunity to respond, and then we can bring on a nice surprise at the end. So first of all, I think, Joke, should I hand over to you, or do you want me to introduce the?
Yes, no problem at all. We have one of our panelists is Ambassador Makida Antoine from Cambridge, or Antoine Cambridge.
Antoine Cambridge.
Antoine Cambridge. Okay. Makeda is the founder and CEO of Genesis International Limited, where she is committed to empowering communities through technology-driven entrepreneurship and bringing small businesses into the digital economy. She served as the 10th ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago to the United Nations. Her expertise of information technology. She was a recipient of the top 100 under 40 most influential people of African descent in 2019. And then we also have Uzoma Dunku. Uzoma is an animation creator, director, and writer. Pivoting from an engineering background, he has fully embraced his gifts to become a respected figure in Africa's animation industry. In 2015, he founded Scroll and counts clients such as Netflix, Marvel, Mindshow, NPR, and PSOP in his character development portfolio. His new NFT drop, 222 Black Faces, is rooted in the need for representation of Black people in animation, showcasing the ethnic diversity and cultural heritage of Africa. So these are the 2 panelists, Ambassador Makida and Uzoma Dunku. All right. It would be nice to have your comments on
Okay.
Okay, your voice is petering out. Okay, she's done.
Okay, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Thank you, your panelists. Thank you for the host. I am a complete fan of you. If I see you, Miss Silva, in any Nigerian movie, they say, babe, we need to look at. That's a good one. So it's a pleasure to be hearing you moderate this session. Thank you, Joseph, and the Vital Africa team for supporting Dr. Bunmi. And Dr. Bunmi, it is a pleasure to be here. Like I shared with Dr. Bunmi, I am a mother of 1, 19 days old. So I think the timing is perfect that I was invited to speak on this. Given my past, my background has been in ICT, information communication technology for the last 20 years. As of COVID, I decided to use some of those skills to help our small businesses. And a lot of our young people and women-led entrepreneurs need this to be prepared, especially for African people of African descent. So thank you again for inviting me. Decolonizing narratives, retelling the African story. Normally when we think of history, It is his story, generally from a male perspective, but that's a different topic. We wouldn't get there today. But generally, when we're telling stories, whose perspective becomes accepted? Who's the villain? Who's the victim? Who owns the media houses? Who owns the distribution channels? I really want to applaud Dr. Bunmi for her launch of the Sankofa children's storybook. And I will, as a young mother, definitely be using this platform and hope to be contributing to it. With social media, there are so many additional avenues to tell our stories. Our stories do not become the anomaly, but success, excellence, and greatness in our communities become the norm. I'm humbled to be among these distinguished panelists who are doing groundbreaking work in these spaces. I just want to share a short story. A story is told of an eagle that grew up on a chicken farm, where they all marvel at how high an eagle could fly and how gracefully he did. All the while, the baby eagle believed he was only a chicken. Every week, as the farmer picked which chicken would be sold off, he wondered what was wrong with him. Why was the farmer not choosing him to be sold? Nobody ever told him he was also an eagle. He didn't realize that his wings were much more powerful than the chickens, and he could fly much further than the trees on the farm. How many of our young ones have no clue that they are eagles? The media, social media, stories echo daily that they are only chickens. I hope these initiatives continue to propel our young boys and girls into the eagles they are born to be. As the UN ambassador for my country, promoting and embracing the International Decade for People of African Descent, I made it my business to reiterate that slavery is only a part of our story. They're not slaves, only enslaved. It is time our children know of all our stories, Afrocentric stories, stories of love, triumph, family, success. Through my charity, we have been doing a small part. We are in 18 schools in my home country, Trinidad and Tobago, and 1 university. Through my company, Genesis International, we also work with universities in West Africa and the Caribbean, promoting technology-empowered entrepreneurship. Dr. Bunmi, I commend this initiative. It is necessary, it is relevant, it is useful. New material every week, I will be looking out for it, and I definitely plan to be a part and a partner. So thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of this. I do think even as a woman of African descent who was pregnant, there were so very limited opportunities for me. And even now when I'm looking for like lullabies, African lullabies or different genre of music, is certain types of people dominate the market. That is not really a voice for our children, our brown boys and girls, for them to know who they are, for them to see a reflection of themselves from as young as they are. So I just want to say thank you again. I just want to encourage all the members who are in this space. Thank you for the work you've been doing. I am quite excited to be a part of it, and I want to congratulate you. Thank you, Dr. Bunmi.
Thank you. Thank you. I've just seen from some of the messaging, people saying I need to send a link for people to check out the website. The website is live now, so you don't need a link from me. You can just Google it and get to it, and then, you know, play around with it. And like I said, I'm happy to hear all your comments and suggestions.
Thank you, Ambassador Makida, for that thought-provoking contribution. I liked what you said a lot, that we need to make what this website will do is to make sure that our children from a very early age realize that they are not chickens, but they are eagles, realize the eagle in them. And also the fact that we are not a race of a single story. We are multifaceted. Part of it is only a slice of our story that is about slavery. And then we are not slaves, but were the operative word being were enslaved. And and I like and I want to comment on something that you said about lullabies. Bunmi, do you remember those nursery rhymes that Mrs. Carol
that we used for our kids when they were growing up.
Yes.
Kulumbu, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, Kulumbu. I know. They still remember. I got them for my grandkids. My grandkids have them now
as well. So those kind of lullabies need to get onto the digital platform.
Absolutely. I have been searching YouTube looking for them with no luck. Yes. So put it on. I will be a participant and I will
for them on our website. Watch out for them on our website.
I support Dr. Oyinsan in that we need to get them from all around Africa, because all around Africa and the Black diaspora, I'm positive that there's just so many rich lullabies, so many rich stories that we can share with our children on this website. Excellent. Now, and so Uzoma, what are your thoughts? What are your contributions? What are your questions?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Ma. Good evening, Auntie Bunmi. Good evening, Auntie Joke. I'm seeing a lot of elders here. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Uncle Soji. I've not met any of you before, but I'm really privileged to have this opportunity to speak. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for remembering me, Joseph. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you so much, my elders. I am 100% in support of everything you're doing. I've been listening to your YouTube channel, Auntie Bunmi, for quite a while, for over 6 months now. I remember when you particularly introduced this thing about informal education for children. I remember when you introduced it, and I even commented on that particular video on YouTube. I've really been looking forward to it. I have a 4-month daughter now. So I'm sure that, yes, I am sure that we will patronize you, definitely. I'm 100% in support of anything that, has to do with pushing the African narrative positively. Ownership, very, very important to me. I am fortunate to have had, some experience, working with international studios, the like of Netflix and Marvel. And what I can tell you is that people are particularly interested in African culture. They are really interested in African stories. The truth of the matter is that we are the ones in the best position to tell our own stories and not wait for them. We cannot wait for Disney. We cannot wait for Pixar. We cannot wait for all these guys to tell a story. We need to tell our own story. If you look at the structure of things in society now, in the world now, with respect to media, BBC and all of that, these people are the ones that have been telling stories of Africa being poor and deprived, on malnourished children and all of that. It's time for us to change all that. Africa has over 3,000 tribes, unique tribes, and each of these tribes have their own folklore stories and all of that to be told, but no one is telling that story except for Auntie Bunmi here, because I've also been seeing some of her stories on the YouTube channel, about some of the histories of, African queens and all of that. I cannot say much because of the non-disclosure contracts I've signed with these studios, but I can tell you that I know right now of 3 stories that are from Africa that these guys are working on. And the funny thing is that when they put this thing out, we are excited. We're all excited to see Black Panther. We're all excited to go to the cinemas and spend our own money. But the truth of the matter is that the money, the proceeds of these films from box office is going into their pockets. It's lining up their pockets. These people are just interested in exploiting Africa. And now the storytelling aspect of Africa is what they are mostly interested in, which is what they are doing with their new IPs like Black Panther and all that. So I really commend this effort, and I hope that it will motivate more writers. Like you said, you're looking for partnerships with illustrators and animators and all that. I can do what I can. Maybe we can have another private discussion and all that, and then I'm happy to, to suggest some people that are doing great things in Nigeria, because I'm based in Nigeria. I was born and bred in Nigeria. I'll forget all this, my makeup and all that. I'm a Nigerian boy, so I want to help, in any way that I can to continue to push our narrative and to make, if you look at my Instagram page, even long before the death of George Floyd, I have been pushing this idea of, promoting African characters or characters that look like us. I keep putting it up on Instagram for the past 2 years now. and it got a lot of, attention, even on LinkedIn, because there was a particular post that I did of 4, unique African characters from various tribes like the Maasai, Yoruba, and all of that. When people see characters tying gele, they see, unique characters tying gele, they are interested in it. And that particular post got close to 200,000 views. A lot of people were really interested. It got, so it just made me realize that the world actually is looking forward to more of this. And I really want to commend the effort that you are actually on the right path. Let's not wait for these people to come and tell our stories for us. As Ambassador Makida has said, we are not chickens, we are eagles. So we need to portray ourselves as eagles, and let's not wait for handouts. Let's not wait for these people. Let's do our own stuff. Let's be ahead. And thank God that we have over 100 people listening. So please, let's not forget, while we are patronizing the international studios, going to the cinemas to watch their films, let's not forget the local ones as well. Let's not forget Auntie Bunmi, Auntie Dr. Bunmi telling her own stories. Let's not forget to patronize her as well, and other storytellers from Africa. I know there are many of them out there. I don't really know their names. Chimamanda Adichie is one of them. There are many other writers that may not be as popular as her, but let's try to patronize ourselves, and eventually we'll see ourselves get to the limelight, and the world will celebrate us. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uzoma.
Yes. Okay, over to you, Joseph.
Okay, Auntie, let me introduce Nita next, because she has a very interesting project to share. Before I do that, I also want to acknowledge a young man in the chat, Mabumi. He's volunteered. He's an illustrator. He works with Vital Africa, and he's volunteered to help you on this project. So Calvin, thank you so much. Calvin is from Kenya, so just want to give you a shout out.
Yes, thank you, Calvin. Yeah.
So our next panelist is Nita Mvula. Nita is a creative of Namibian heritage, born in exile in New York, USA. Her early childhood was heavily influenced by the political climate of the times. Her parents, just like many others of that generation, were involved in the independence struggle of Namibia from the South African protectorate. She grew up in Germany and Sweden and discovered an early passion for music and fashion, which she explores through various projects. Nita studied music production at the UOW London and is a Red Bull Music Academy alumni. She is inspired by African sounds and styles witnessed on the continent and the distorted view of Africa by the media. Based off that, she launched 2 African-inspired blogs, one called haveplentymusic.com and vakwetu.com, both now archived in 2009, that focused on showcasing authentic street styles and new music from the continent. Nita continues to explore multimedia projects in the UK and Namibia. For today, she wanted to talk to us about the African Wealth Project, which is a project she's working on. I'll let her introduce that and hand over to you, Nita. I think we probably need to give you permission to share your screen.
Correct. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you for this great platform. I feel very honored to be presenting my project along all these distinguished speakers. So I'm just going to share my screen and hopefully it should work. Let's see. Okay. It doesn't look, are you?
are you getting access?
I am trying to, are you able to see my screen now?
Not yet. Let me try. So let me see if I can, because I've got the slides. If I can do it from here, let me just have a look.
Take your mat. If you are drowsy, lie down. You don't have to do anything.
And if we can mute, if we can have everyone on mute whilst we're sharing, that would be much appreciated. So let me see if I can do it from here. I'll try. Let me see that, and then just tell me. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So awesome. So Nita, you just have to tell me when to change the slides, and I can do that whilst you're talking. I will put my video off so that we can get you as a speaker. So. Okay, Nita, can you take it away? Are you there, Nita?
Yes, hi.
All right.
Sorry about that. Are you sharing from your end, Joseph?
Yeah, so just say next slide and I'll keep advancing it.
Okay. So yeah, so the African Wealth Project, if you can already go into the next slide, is an open multidisciplinary project that aims to explore the African and African diaspora communities' identification with wealth within the context of decolonization. So the participation is basically open to anyone from African descent, and the project invites you to explore your interpretation and thoughts on what African wealth is and how you identify with it personally, within your community, within your tribe, within your culture, within your country. And the platform is basically a website. It was set up for you to share in any medium that you see fit what your interpretation, your thoughts on African wealth are. So for example, you might want to share an image of a symbol that represents African wealth to you. You might want to share just a comment or even a voice note that you've just made while walking down the street. You might want to share your art, spoken words, any written pieces, any videos. You can share your own questionnaires. You can create anything around the topic. So basically the platform is created to be a conversation starter and a safe space for all of us to get together and actually kind of talk about this topic that I don't think that we really have talked about or have addressed in the various interpretations that we all have. You can go to the next slide. So why have I started this project? From my music and fashion blogging background, I've always been interested in how African people of African descent represent themselves in that sphere. I'm really interested in the symbolisms that we use, the visual aesthetics that we use, and then within the context of decolonization, how we represent certain aesthetics. So for example, you see in a lot of music videos that a certain aesthetic becomes very popular and it reflects a certain type of aspiration. If a rapper wants to show this is how I've made it, then they wear certain designer clothes or certain watches. They dress on they carry or they drive certain cars. So I've always kind of looked at this and wondered about this and just wondered how we represent ourselves to ourselves, but also to the world. And what is it that we're telling ourselves, and what are we aiming for? And also all these aesthetics that we have created, how are they influencing ultimately our own buying behaviors? And how does that then feed into our own self-determination as people of African descent, having to grapple with creating or pushing our own standards? So this is my personal reason for creating this platform. Joseph, you can go to the next. So within that, I now look at certain visuals, and then I ask myself certain questions, which I also want to share with the audience. You know, what are the various African standards of wealth that exist? What are they within your community, within your tribe, within your country, within your culture? And, you know, how do you feel about those? How do you express wealth within your situation? And what is African wealth to you? Because my definition might be completely different from your definition. You can go to the next slide. So I went on to Google rich Black woman lifestyle, all these phrases, because I wanted to see what would come up. And this beautiful picture of this woman enjoying a very nice lifestyle and enjoying very nice designer products is kind of the representation of what you get when you put on these particular phrases. So for me, looking at this, and I'm a liker of nice things as well, but at the same time, I'm asking myself, what is it that I'm seeing, and why have I not been able to see this image with a different, for example, an African brand on the back? Why am I not seeing that? Why am I not seeing within the search engine? Why am I not seeing a lot of pictures of that outcome? And also, what is luxury? What is the standard of luxury that Africans have? How do we, you know, define luxury? What is our standard of luxury? Or are we just going to copy and paste the wealth and the aspirations that we see that the West has? Oh, you can go to the next slide. So these are some of the questions that are up on the website and that you can ask yourself as well. What does being wealthy look like to Africans? What does being rich look like to Africans or to you and within your community? And how are we benchmarking this? And do we need to develop in the same vein as the West or the East? And what is African development to us as a people? And who are we aspiring to be, and by whose standards? So that's, in a nutshell, basically the project. And I invite everyone to participate and share your thoughts on the platform. So the website is already live, although it's officially launching on the 1st of March. So you can give your feedback by sending an email or joining us on Twitter or going directly onto the website with any ideas, any feedback that you have. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you, Nita. Really some thought-provoking questions there. And so people can reach out. If you don't mind just putting in the chat the website link, I think it's easier for people to just go from the chat and find what you're doing. So thank you so much for being another voice in this narrative, trying to reshape the narrative that we want to tell. So shall we move on to our next speaker? Auntie Joke, are you still there? Okay, let me introduce Osita. Is he here? Mr. Oduko, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, let me introduce. Our next speaker, I just wanted to say upfront, it's very interesting because on LinkedIn today, my wife, who is of Nigerian heritage, she was excited because there was a chap in the UK who has been made in Oxford University, the first Igbo tutor at Oxford University. So she was so excited. She told me, and I said, yes, I've also seen it, because you know these things, as soon as they hit social media, it's like wildfire. So it just, for me, it was just confirmation that you're meant to be here, Mr. Duku. So his passion, Mr. Duku's passion, before I introduce him, is the problem of linguicide. So linguicide, homicide, the killing of African languages. So Uduka Ositadima is an Igbo and French languages educator. He's an Igbo language and culture enthusiast. He currently runs an online language institute known as the Igbo French Institute, and also works with Alliance Française. He is currently doing his second master's in French as a foreign language at the university in France, Besançon in France. He has a degree in languages and linguistics, a French major, first master's in French as a foreign language. He's also a DEL for DAF, which is an official diploma awarded by the French Ministry of Education to certify the French language competency of the French language. So he's a DELF examiner. He honed his Igbo language skills through his interaction with the elderly. He's done focus groups, discussions, and research coming out of those. As a result, he is armed with a wealth of Igbo language, culture, and tradition, and seamlessly transfers the same to anyone who comes into close contact with him, in order to save his cherished Igbo language from going extinct. And this is a problem that's happening everywhere in Africa. I mean, we know it's a vast continent, as Uzuma rightly mentioned, 3,000 tribes, and those tribes have their own languages and sub-dialects. So you can just see